first year I started coaching to now, like we a big ass family. So what happened is I coached that season my first year, man, and we went undefeated. And then we was like we was shining people. We championship day come, we get the t-shirts made. How the NBA Finals is already. Notepop won the city champs with the record on that say 10-0. So we had that from the gate. You know what I mean, so the game was over. We get that, we win that. Then we go on the regionals. You know, they're like, no, you ain't gonna win. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna do that. That's how I met Hakadaki. So son was playing for Union. Nas Oliver. He was supposed to be like the top, most impressive running back in the world, right?
Shout out to Nas. Shout out to Nas.
Shout out to Nas Oliver and all that. You know what I mean? But so I had to, you know what I mean? What we do is we show people that you could be nice, but when you run into the squad, and I wasn't even a head coach, L. I was just a line coach.
Yeah.
And we end up punishing Lil Nas Oliver team, the Union Rams, I think 25-12. And I think Hawk still owed me $100 over that jump. They was betting.
Yeah, he said, "Here you go."
You know what it was.
He said, "Here you go."
It's the truth. So after that, we ended up beating another team called Lacey Township. So after Lacey, we get to the finals. Now we at the finals, my first year ever as a coach. So we playing this team called White Oaks. They got a tour bus. They sponsored down. You know what I mean? Cleats and all that. Never seen it in my life. They end up spanking us. They beat us 39. But that day right there showed me a lesson. It was like, yo, you know what? I want to be just like them. I want to be better than them. So the next year we end up coming back and going to Florida. But then we get our ass whooped down in Florida. I run into Luke Campbell and stuff, people like that. Now I'm building. People want to know, I'm giving y'all a blueprint. I was building it since 2004. So 2004, my kids left. They ended up going to Patterson Catholic. That's how I met Benji Wembley. That's how I know who Benji Wembley is. If y'all know Benji Wembley is the Assembly of New Jersey. Where he's from Patterson and whatever. And he does his thing, man. Does a great thing by the community. But I met him. Next year, I meet Luther Campbell. The year after that, 2006, my team ended up, we end up losing the championship. We go to the Garden State, which is like you play at Rutgers. So we played at Rutgers, had that type of shine. And then after that, like 2007 on, we were just spanking people. So I had that 2017 brought on guys like Al-Qadim Muhammad. We had some dogs, kid named Elijah Plant, Flubber. We was loaded. It could go on. Tony Ivy, God bless his spirit. These guys was real deal. And we ended up winning the championship, and then we losing to the guys from Washington, D.C., right?
Yeah.
So we get to 2008, we was grown. They all came back. It was real. We ended up losing to Elizabeth, the guy, P.J. Walker. He plays with quarterback. He played with the Colts. Now he played with the Carolina Panthers. And it was so dope at that time. Who would have known? We had two NFL players playing in the same game, playing against each other. It was Quan versus PJ. He actually caught an interception that day. PJ really beat us. But to have that experience and to be able to coach against that, being in that environment, never know that any of these guys ever going to be like high major Division I football players, and you out there, you just coaching them. You don't know, right? The difference is now, I'm going to speed it along. In 2011, I ended up coaching, what was it, 2011, I ended up coaching junior Pee Wee. But I think Quan and them ended up transferring to Don Bosco in 2010. He went to Don Bosco in 2010. 2011, I studied under the guy named Coach Toe. Coach Toe is a legend in New Jersey for football. I was like his shadow. And Hawk gonna pull up right behind me though. Like he's for real. So
he about to give you that $100.
He got a badge and everything. So I'm on.
He about to give you that.
So on the flip side of that, Quan and them, I watched Quan and them be at Don Bosco and how Coach Toole was with them. And Coach Toole gave me a call one day. He used to always call, talk about how Uncle Dean pussy, Elijah Shoemake pussy, Jabril. I'm like, yo, they all can't be like. Look, they all can't be like that, right? So he said, "Your kid's never been motherfucked." Excuse my French for the kids.
Hey,
I'm like,
man.
I ain't know what he meant by that. He meant motherfuck this, motherfuck that, motherfuck this. So when he said that, when I got back to my kids, it wasn't that I cursed them out. I just took what he was doing up there and brought it back down to the babies. So once I got it to the babies, and pushing them to another level, I ended up making a magazine with him. It was the New Yorker. Ended up getting a New Yorker, just telling you how it's going, getting a New Yorker, and then like people started coming. They wanted to know what was going on, how this was coming about. So the next year after that, I had a kid named Asai Maynard. All these kids played on the teams. Zamir Mickens, Jalen Berger, Shaquan Loyu. Like, it's crazy. I name any names. I'm looking at them as little kids, but to the world, they're major players. You know what I'm saying? They major people. And I having them on the team, remember them crying, being little babies. We ended up starting the Brick City Lions in 2012 from scratch. No money, no loan, no nothing. No loan, no money, no nothing. Just the faith of the people of the city of Newark. They was just down for it. I mean, from all over actually, but majority from the city. And that first year I walked in, my bad. We had people call me. We had a meeting, and with North Jersey trying to come into the league, and the guys was like, man, look, yo, Newark don't got no football. Y'all gonna be the doormats in here. I'm like, oh, doormats. I'm like, we want to play Division I. Whoever the best football players, teams y'all got, we want to play them. We a new organization. No new organizations come out and do what we did ever. You know what I'm saying? We came out the gate, and all our levels were undefeated and won championships. You know what I'm saying? We ended up losing to go to Disney that year. So the next year we came back. The second year, we undefeated again. My 14U had studs. We had Drew Singleton, Rutgers, Josiah Pavilion, North Carolina State, Aziz Wilson, Josh Fed Jackson, North Carolina State, Jonathan Lewis, Rutgers, East Carolina, Dorian Hardy. Like, you name it, they played on one football team. I'm talking about these. If it was the top 50 in the state, we had about 19 kids on it. You see the difference? So it kind of changed the game. So if you look at us, keep building, we ended up making it to Disney World. Once we got to Florida, we just took flight, and the kids had the confidence and stuff. So we got over 50 kids that play Division I football right now. You see, I can't remember all their names, but if you look at not just the football part, but look at the basketball, we got kids like Noah Farrakhan. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Noah.
Shout out to Noah. We I always put him under our tutelage, which is Luther Muhammad. We also got guys like Dariq Whitehead. So when you talk about names like that, that's basketball. These guys play football as well. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the dope part about just being from our circle. That's why we call it the circle of success. Because when you're around everybody that's doing well, like when I was growing up, I ain't know people like that. I don't even watch college football games. No, I don't watch NFL games. No, and the Giants is my team. I only watch Al Quadine, Tahir Whitehead, then when Jabril, like people like I know. You know what I'm saying? I remember sometimes you ain't know nobody that played it. So when I watch the college football, I just can't turn on and watch a Clemson game. I gotta watch if Clemson playing North Carolina State, if Rutgers playing Ohio State. It's such a like that's how I gotta do it. I can't just sit and watch a game because I feel like I'm wasting my time when I could be watching my kids.
Well, listen, man. So you transitioned from the Scorpions to the Brick City Lions, right? Tell me why the name Lions?
Because we was trying to figure out these names and stuff. So everybody had these red tails, the Ducks, and I'm like, yo, man, we from Newark, Brick City, right? We got to be the king of the jungle.
True.
And it was the Lions. So it was like, yo, we the Lions, man. We in the jungle. And then everybody ran with it. I'm like, yo, then we could adopt. We gonna look like Detroit. And then it's so crazy because Tahir Whitehead ended up getting drafted that June to the Lions. I'm like, oh, this is perfect. So everybody thought we were like Tahir Whitehead team or something like that. But He just family and friends. Like he'll walk through, show up. Same thing like Quan and anybody else. They'll come through, shake the kids' hands and stuff like that. Camps.
So what it appears to me is, right, and you know, I coached for damn near 20 years, man. I've been an athlete all my life, man. And like you said about developing family, not only did you develop like superior athletes, you develop young men. And what I'm noticing is from listening to you and from knowing you over the years, you take kids out the hood and you expose them to other areas in New Jersey that they may not have ever been exposed to before. Tell me about the relationships that you forged and how those relationships came about. That you could take a kid and, you know, no disrespect to Newark schools, but we kind of all know what that's about. You know what I mean?
Got you.
Tell me what gave you the foresight to say, you know what, instead of having these kids stay home, you know, I'm gonna expose them to something else and give them a better opportunity.
All right, so look, me being a kid, wanted to go to Barringer Prep with my friends. Wanted to be in West Side. Anywhere I would rather been there, right? But somebody saw a bigger picture, and I ended up going to Essex Catholic. The bond that I built with those guys there is like still going on. Like I look forward to Essex Catholic Fridays every Friday. You know what I'm saying? Every other Friday. And that's the love. That's genuine. I learned from kids. Like I learned how to be a young man there. Even when I was acting out, I still knew it was wrong. Like some kids just act out and don't know it's wrong. I knew what I was doing. You get what I'm saying? I knew I was acting out. And I had real friends. I'd be like, shout out to my man Trey Wins. I'll be on the phone with him all night. He'd be like, "You not studying?" I'm like, "Nah." I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not. So, and then I get the class the next day. I'll be in Ms. Worth class, and she be counting down like, "You got 5 minutes, and put the pens down." And I'm like, "Come on, Troy. Come on, Murder, please, bro. Just hook me up with this test, right?" And then he's like, "No, I'm not doing it because I told you to study with me last night on the phone." And then it gets to like the last 2 minutes. And then he'll turn around and be like, "Yo, B, C, D, da 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 da." Give me all the answers, and
we all had that. We all had that moment and shit. My man Fred was the same way. Go ahead.
So, but that's what kind of was like a light bulb in my head. So now, me doing this, I'm like, yo, how can I change the game? So I knew certain kids might have needed to get away. I knew kids needed to see something different to be successful. Like I wish Quan Muhammad is probably one of them, one of the major ones. I feel like had he stayed home, he wouldn't even be where he at now. I think getting out, seeing other people, seeing people who have a work ethic, because sometimes you may not see the work ethic. You know, other people got different work ethic. Nothing against our public schools in the city of Newark. Shout out to our city because we put out major student athletes here too as well. And the ones that's actually going D1, if you look, they do come from our youth program. You know what I mean? Shout out to Irvington. They and Smoke and those guys up there. They doing
shout out to Smoke.
Word. Shout out to them because they doing it. And I think that and a lot of people don't know with Smoke too. He went to private school. He went to what's that? Pingree? Like, come on, bro.
Nah, Smoke was at Essex first, and then he went to Bailey Elliott. I was his wrestling coach for a short time.
So there you go. So you know what it is. So even when they say, "Yo, you can stay home and go to," they know where sometimes their morals come from, you know. And sometimes they get into you, and you're like, "Yo, you know what? I'm gonna take what I learned here and bring it here." That's how I feel now. Like, give me a public school job right now, and I'll bring the same impact there too. You just need the right people, you know, and to get it done. But that's what I think that's what it was. I say the Essex Catholic part about it gave me an outlook. I mean, obviously, it was in East Orange. We didn't know far. Went out the hood nowhere, right?
Yeah.
We're still in the hood. Got to deal with
it's far enough.
All right. And then the difference was the people that was there. They were from different places. Shout out to my man Elizabeth, DJ Special. Yeah, but it was like you said, it was far enough, and the people that were there were genuine, and they meant everything from the heart. So I think that's where I kind of learned it from, and then it was like, let me give it back to other people. So like Patterson Catholic was like equivalent to Essex Catholic for my kids that was coming out, still in the hood, but it gave you a different life. Seeing how public school hurt a kid that don't belong there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
We had a bunch of them, and then a lot of people a lot of these guys, these coaches don't have those connects like those guys do.